Hi everybody, Martin again. Today I'm trying a rabbit candy. Really effective little sort of bait fish imitation. I love it for sea bass. This version's probably like my top nighttime fly. Catches fish during the day as well. And I'm tying this in a size 2. And that's a Tiemco 800S. I like that. It's got a kind of nice wide gape. And you don't, I mean, if you're only using it for sea bass, it's not like it's, it's a good enough hook. So I'm running on a bed of clear monofilament shred and touching turns. Just until I get to a bit in line with the barb. And then snip away your excess. And I've already pre-cut my zonker strip for the tail. And I've punctured it with my dubbing needle. And I've got a piece of nylon. It's just £30 nylon. And I've melted the end into quite a big ball, as if I was making a crab eye. Put it through the hide. And this is like your anti-fouling guard. So I just take a couple of loose wraps over the monofilament first, then pull my rabbit into where I'm happy with the tie-in point, and I'll sort of tighten up until the zonker sort of matches up with the nylon. And you can adjust it to suit. Zonker's not very great, it's molten. And get that tied securely in place, so that nylon will stop the tail from wrapping. And then take your thread down to the eye of the hook. And then you can tie in some material to take your resin. I'm using Polar Flash, but you can use Flashaboo, Ultra Hair, whatever, really. But I like the Polar Flash for this. So I've got a good thick bunch, full length, and I'm going to fold it in half, right? And then you can see that's just about right. And I don't worry about having sort of even ends around. You're going to be trimming them anyway. So I'll just take a couple of loose wraps around the material and then encourage it around the shank. Make sure you've fully surrounded the shank, and then just fold back the other half of it. And put a wee few turns in front. tie it back a wee bit just to force that back. And then just a quick whip finish will do fine. And then I just like to sort of hold everything, pull it back, get a rough idea of where everything's sitting. And then it will come in with my resin. I'm using Loon, Loon UV. And just work it in to the flash. So I just sort of worry about the front part at the moment, just to sort of get the general shape that I'm looking for. You need to try to keep it evenly spread around the shank. You got a couple of wee trap bits like that, just sort of straighten them out, pull them back. Make sure you don't leave it hollow. You can see it starts to take shape as you build it up. And then when you're reasonably happy with your initial shape, I just don't like there's a sort of bump there. So when you're quite happy with your first coat, just try to maintain the sort of 360 coverage of your flash. You can come in and hit it with your light. You don't need to be dead perfect at this stage. You can build up a bit more on your next coat. I'll give that a good curing. Sorry, just flashed that in the camera. Takes a few seconds. It's still 1,000 times quicker than epoxy. Right. So there you've got your basic form, your rabbit-tailed candy. At this stage, I like to add the eyes. Well, and I'm using some. These are on this size. These are just 3mm flat tape eyes. And you can see there I always crease the eyes so that they sort of hug the shape of the fly rather than sitting up. And then I'll just put a tiny spot of loon resin on the fly where I want that eye to go. I'll just stick it on there. And the same again on this side. Just a wee spot. And get your eye in place. Just check that it's even. So inline both. See, that's not very good. So check it from the top and from the front, just to make sure they're equally evenly positioned. Give it a zap. And then you can come in and we can put our top coat on. And this will fill, this helps to fill any gaps. If you just sort of rotate your vise, it helps to level everything out. You can just come in and just use a toothpick. You can use your needle if you like. Just try to make sure everything's nice and level. Kind of bulbous wee head there, I'm not kidding. And when you think you're reasonably happy, go for another wee zapping. That's more or less it. The last thing to do is just to sort of come in and sort of taper this flash a bit. I like it to be a bit shorter on top than it is in the bottom. For something like that's fine. That's a wee bit long, that. There you go. So that's it. I mean, if you notice any wee bits that are still a bit hollow looking, you can just come in and fill them. Hit them with a light, and that's it. That's the beauty of the UV resin. See there, it's a bit hollow as well. I mean, you can get carried away. But that's pretty nice. One thing I never do when I tie a surfcandy is tie the material with the clear thread, because I hate that. It gives you a horrible sort of pinched section at the tail and a big lumpy body with the material flaring. It's much better just to tie it at the front and use the resin to hold it in place. It's not just as easy when it comes to doing the resin work or the epoxy work if you still use epoxy, but it makes for a nicer fly, and it's just, it's just kind of laziness if you ask me, tying it, wrapping over it with a thread. It gives you it's just a bad idea. Right, so that's it, the rabbit-tailed surfcandy, or the rabbit candy. It's a great wee fly. It moves, the rabbit moves great in the water. Bass love it. And well, other fish as well. I mean, anything that eats a small minnow, bluefish, albacore, anything like that. So yeah, I'd encourage you to tie some up and put them in your box. So I hope you liked that. If you did, or if you didn't, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, the sort of flies you would like me to tie. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, thanks a lot guys, bye.